All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us for our monthly sales meeting. McDonald's going to take over here in just a minute. They're going to start off. We go through all the different offices and that kind of stuff. Then I have the whole presentation on everything that we got going on, what's happening, what's coming, that kind of stuff. So let's see. If May, are you ready to go? He is not ready to go. So we will probably, what we're going to do is we're just going to take a few minutes and let each of our offices have different sponsors, and so we're going to bring everybody can bring their own sponsor up and be able to talk to the agents, that kind of stuff. So we're going to jump on that. Yep.
Hey, can you hear me now? Oh, I see it now. Yay!
Yeah, now we can hear you, Ming. We're going to go ahead and do vendors real quick, and then you guys can jump in. Okay.
Okay, fine. Yeah. I finally got it plugged on. Hey, good morning. Really quick, I just want to let you guys know we're going to start with our main sponsors here in McDonough. Julie and Lacey, you want to come up and introduce yourself?
Are we?
Yeah, you're online.
Okay. So I'm Lacey Lloyd, and this is Julie Skinner with Silverton Mortgage, and we are in-house here at McDonough.
Yep.
So,
Okay. Lacey and I both, as she said, we came from a community bank, so relationships are super important to us. We're not, our customers are not just numbers that we're trying to reach as far as budget. We build relationships and we make our business off referrals. So it's really important to us to give good service and for people to like the process from beginning to end. So they'll refer people to us. Did you need?
The Zoom can't hear you.
Okay.
Again? Are you kidding me? No.
Do we need to get closer to the mic?
You might, because you probably need to stand over there
Over here?
and you got to project your voice out just
Okay.
a little bit.
Okay.
Well, this is the mic.
Yeah.
I'm so
So
sorry.
get closer to
Can
this.
y'all
We can
hear?
hear you.
Huh? You still can't?
We can hear you just fine.
Oh, okay, just tequila. Love you, tequila.
Everybody on the Zoom, she's saying, everybody's saying they can't hear.
Oh, come
Okay, she
on in,
said they're
Ruby.
good now. She said they're good now.
Okay.
Okay, we'll
Okay.
stand by the mic.
Okay.
So
Sorry.
I just want you to know, with the relationship building piece too, if you have a client that comes back to Julie or Lacey, they'll also refer, just so you know, when they create a file, your name's attached to it.
Right.
Okay, so they will make sure that you get that particular credit if your client's looking at moving or reselling. You guys know, a lot of us after closing, we kind of went, see ya, enjoy your house. And we rarely, for those of you that's in direct marketing, like Sheila, she's doing a good job right now, good job. And you tend, your client tend to get lost in the shuffle. So with Lacey and Julie, I do know that they keep that database in their system. And if your client ever comes back for a resale or something like that, they'll call you and say, hey, your client just called and they want to do this. So,
Right.
and they truly believe in a relationship. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take your time.
No,
you're
one
good.
thing Ming wanted us to hit on this morning is the fact that we are mortgage loan originators, not the underwriters, and what the difference is with that. So Julie and I can say that we are both very thorough and try to put the files together based on the guidelines that are given to us. Like we probably do a pre-underwrite on our own.
Yeah.
That we're not just shooting a pre-approval letter out to you. I mean, we take that very seriously because I want to be able to close it if I'm going to put all my time into it. So we also can have the hard conversations up front if it doesn't look like it's going to work, and we can talk about if there's potential there or if there's not.
Yeah.
So,
And we definitely, we're both firm believers in a no in the beginning, as hard as that may be, is so much better than 3 or 4 weeks in. You've shown them 20 houses, they're under contract, there's earnest money on the line, and we knew on the front end it was sketchy. So it is not uncommon at all for us to put in underwriting scenarios before we issue a pre-approval. For instance, if you have a borrower and just say, or you have a client and they're commissioned and they've only been commissioned for 12 months, and typically we like to see a 2-year history.
All right.
We want to know on the front end, is underwriting going to allow us to use their income? Are they going to require 2 years of commission income? So we get those answers on the front end. Obviously, pre-approval, there's still room. It's got to go through underwriting. There's room for bumps along the way and
Right.
things to come up that are unforeseen, but we definitely comb through our files thoroughly. So hardly ever do we get to underwriting and a file's denied. And if it is denied, it's new information. It's not something we overlooked and just didn't do our homework on the front end. So, we want our agents to feel confident. If we give you a pre-approval letter, we want you to feel confident that you can go show them houses.
Right.
But we also will call you up and say, we are at the tippy top of what they can afford. If these taxes are a little bit more or the insurance, it could kill this deal. So we want you to know on the front end if it's shaky, or if we have them not beyond maxed out, but completely maxed out. So you can kind of steer them. They can't look at one any higher. And if this one has high taxes,
Or
You
both
know.
county and city tax.
yes,
Right.
exactly.
But we try to look for that too on the front end.
Yeah, so we are excited to work with you guys. I mean, send your customers our way. We're available. We're available on weekends, on holidays. We keep our phones with us.
Mhm. We want to close
So
loans.
we do. So
They're like you, they
um,
want to close.
and certainly, if you are new and you just have questions or you'd like to sit with us to kind of get a 101, one-on-one and a 101 for mortgage, we'd be happy to do that. Between the two of us,
Mhm.
we have a lot of years of experience, and certainly, would be happy to help you
And just
guys.
really quick, start a new year, if you want to do a first time buyer consultation, they'll be more than happy to do it with you via live person or Zoom.
Right.
Just schedule it out, okay? Thank you, guys.
All right, thank
Ladies, I
you.
appreciate you. All right, I'm gonna turn this light so they can see. All right, back to you guys.
All
Alan?
right. Yep,
All right, back to you guys.
here we go. Okay, all right, so we're just gonna kind of run through here. Wordsworth, would you go ahead and, all the different branch managers are gonna speak real quickly here. So Wordsworth, if you'd start us off.
Hello, good morning. Can you all hear me well? Hello?
How can we not?
Oh man, that was so funny. Thank God I'm not an egg because I'm cracking up. Anyway, so of course I'm Wordsworth, the branch manager here at the Fayetteville office. And I do agent billing, which we're going to get into right now. Since about January, we have been sending out info about the price changes for all of our commission plans. And of course, some of y'all don't read your emails. It's okay. I get it. And I've gotten a few questions about it. So all of our plans have increased by $22. So that is the price difference that a lot of you are reaching out to me about. Excuse me. It's a $22 change in the commission plans. As far as that goes, if you have any questions about the commission plans, if you want to switch your commission plan, just reach out to me and we can do that. And of course, we are coming up on 1099 season. So I want to make sure that if you had an address change or any information change in the last year, that you send that update to office@max1partners.com. So everybody in the office staff will be able to see it and we can get it updated, because I don't want anybody to call me in February, March, saying that their 1099 got sent to an old address. So if you're on and you're listening, if you had an address change or any other information changes, please, 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 please send me an email and let me know. Other than that, I think that's about it for me. Oh, and if you're on automatic draft, if your monthly payments come out of your account automatically on your debit card or credit card, those amounts have already been updated. So you will see the authorization amount and the amount of the new commission plan prices. Again, if you want to change your credit card, if you want to change your method of payment, switch over to checks, pay in person, whatever you want to do, just send me a message and let me know. As far as happenings and going on in the Fayetteville office, we are setting up some mastermind sessions because we have some agents in here with 20 years of experience. And I know we've gotten a lot of new agents already in the last few months. So we are going to be starting that sometime in the next couple of weeks. I'll make sure I put out all the information about that. We'd love to have you guys come to the office, have some lunch, chit chat, learn about real estate, all that jazz. I think that's about it though. Wait. Everybody always ends with a quote. And I finally found a quote that I like because I don't really like quotes. Okay, so this one is for everybody who, of course, we have a lot of people in our company who are like, 2022 is going to be my year. I'm going to start working more. I'm going to start listing. I'm going to start selling. I'm going to start buying. So I want to leave you guys with this quote, and hopefully it will inspire you to actually start on your goals for this year. And it goes, "We will open the book. Its pages are blank. We're going to put words on them ourselves. The book is called Opportunity, and its first chapter starts New Year's Day." So get started, start hustling, make some money, and let's make 2022 the best year ever. Thank you. Wordsworth signing off. Back to you, Alan.
All right, Mello, our airport location, are you on? Just really quick to kind of follow up with Wordsworth, the $22 increase is actually, we're providing KV Core this year, and hopefully we'll start training at the end of January. We're being trained on late this week and next week. So before it goes out to the mass, we want to make sure we got it down pat. There will be video training as well for the agents to review whether they can't do it online or in person. So we're going to start a lot of that. And the corporate service, it used to be called tech loyalty fee on $10, actually move up to $25. Corporate has never increased the fee since they started. And of course, like everybody else, with the back end services and everything else, the price of those services has gone up just slightly. So when you do close, instead of $10, it's now $25. And so that's where it is. And we have been announcing it for the last 3 months. So, okay. Mello, your turn. Thanks.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So I'm Melody. I'm the branch manager here at the airport office. And I just wanted to talk to you guys about a service that we will be offering to our agents. And this is a as needed service, but it is a transaction coordinating service. So if you are tired, and I will repeat it, if you are tired of paying late fees for late uploads and getting in trouble and getting constant emails because you're busy. If you don't have enough time to do it, we will be more than happy to do it for you. So some of the things that we will provide for you as a transaction coordinator will be review contracts for accuracy and completion, track deadlines per your contract requirements, prepare all broker required disclosures and forms. We will collect all signatures, track due dates and deals with all parties, close the communication gap between the buyers and the sellers, schedule home inspections if needed, order home warranty if needed, upload all documents into paperless pipeline. And so this really helps with your transactions because again, if you have 3, 4, 5 deals, and I'm just manifesting that for y'all, when y'all have these, it may be really hard to actually track those. You kind of get lost in the sauce, and you never want to have your clients or your deals or your money falling by the wayside. So that is something that we will be more than happy to offer for you. We will also be able to schedule closings with attorneys. Again, that's if needed, and then upload everything into FMLS as well as paperless pipeline.
Wow.
So if this is something that you're interested in, you can definitely reach out to me, or the other transaction coordinator is Stephanie Hyatt. There is a fee of $300 that will be right, which is very, very, everybody, I don't know, it may be 500 because they all looking like that's too cheap. So there is a fee, and that will come out of your closing, like at the end of your closing. And again, this just really helps, you know, you guys to stay on track of your transactions and your deals. And so again, you can reach out to me. I'm at Max One Airport at Gmail, and then Stephanie Hyatt, I believe it's Stephanie Hyatt at Gmail. But just reach out to me or give us a call, and we'll be more than happy to get you guys taken care of. Over and out from the airport.
All right, just follow up on that. I had a question, McDonough, while you were talking. One of them was that do you input the listing? The transaction coordinator can input the listing as long as they get the MLS sheet data input. Okay, so understand the transaction coordinators never step their foot on that house. So the more detailed you are, the more detail is going to go in there. So if you are missing things, it is up to the agent. Basically, transaction coordinator will put it in and it's going to be saved as partial. And it's up to the agent to double check and review that listing to ensure it is correct before you publish it out. Okay, so I just want to let you guys know it is available. Once again, information is only good as it gets to them. So if you don't tell them something, they won't know. Okay, but they're there to keep you in compliance and make sure your due diligence, appraisal, financing, and kind of give you warning on those due dates, just so you can be ahead of the game instead of like, oh shoot, today's the last day for due diligence kind of thing. Okay, thank you, Mello. All right, and I think Nancy's next, if I'm correct.
Hi, I'm Nancy Lockridge. I am the manager of Conyers, and I hope you guys watched the game last night. Way to go, dogs. Wasn't that great? That was a great game. I'm an agent service coordinator, and I handle the onboarding for all agents and any kind of questions, company changes for our current agents. And this month we've added 5 new agents already in January, with the possibility of 4 more pending for Greg, adding them to our roster. So that'll be 8 so far, and it is the very early in the month. In the Conyers office on Thursday, January the 20th, I am finally having the vision board and business planning gathering. And Jamie's going to sponsor this for us. Thank goodness. Thank you so much. We're going to get together, for lack of a better word, have a gathering. It'll start at 4:30, over at 6:30 with hors d'oeuvres and wine. And if you watched the game on last night, N'Kobe Dean, number 17, he's a linebacker for UGA, and he has a vision board. He's had this vision board since he was in high school, a senior in high school in Mississippi. Everything on the vision board was accomplished, but only one thing happened last night: winning a national championship. And he has completed that vision board. A new study shows that 1 out of 5 successful entrepreneurs use vision boards. A vision board should be a part of every successful plan, and 1 in 5 owners use some sort of a vision plan for their business. And of these, they say that 76% of their business is now where they have envisioned it. Also in Conyers, on the 26th of January, Ming will be back teaching the 2022 GAR contract changes for 3 hours of CE at 9:30. I used to teach school when I we did little inspirations on my, outside of my room on a little bulletin board. And so this is my third book with Maximum One. It's just 2021 inspirational, and I have one for each of you today. And the inspiration for today is on the board in the front. It says, enter this new year with gratitude for this new change to create your dreams. Thanks.
Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate it. Stephanie, are you online?
Yes, I'm
There you
here.
are.
Sorry. Okay. Hi, everyone. Stephanie Hyatt, Compliance. So I just have a couple of quick things to go over. So first, I wanted to give you guys the ending numbers for 2021, and then how we're doing so far in 2022. So for 2021, we ended the year at 1,143 closed transactions. We've already had 9 close in 2022, and we already have 33 more pending. So that's awesome. As far as compliance and paperwork, all that kind of fun stuff goes, I have one thing specifically for realtors and one specifically for non-realtors. So for the non-realtors, be sure when you are signing your initial agreements, it doesn't, even if you're not listing a property in FMLS, when you say what MLSs you are affiliated with, you still have to list FMLS. It's not like the realtor forms where you only put the MLS down that you're listing the property in. You have to put down that you are a member of Georgia MLS and FMLS. As far as the realtor paperwork goes, on the new buyer brokerage agreement and the new listing agreement, this year GAR has separated the agency section into 2 parts, Part A and Part B. So for Part A, Maximum One does not allow sub-agency or dual agency. So those are the only 2 boxes that you should select in Section A. In Section B, it says, let me look at the specific verbiage. If broker offers dual agency as one of its agency relationships above, buyer or seller, does or does not consent to the broker acting in dual agency capacity. Because we don't allow dual agency, you need to select that the buyer or seller does not consent. So I know before there was some confusion because it wasn't separated into 2 parts. So now if you don't have the does not consent part selected, I can specify Section 3B or Section 6, whatever this section is. So just make sure that on every single buyer brokerage or listing agreement, you're marking that we do not allow sub-agency or dual agency, and that the buyer or seller does not consent to the broker acting in dual agency capacity. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie, for the explanation of the dual agency. So a lot of time, I know we kind of nitpick you guys a little bit, but it's never an issue until money's involved. That little checkbox maybe is insignificant at the time you're in a hurry to do it, may be significant when it comes to dispute. And that's why we figure if we can train you guys to do it right the first time, it's always right the next time. So, and that's what we're trying to avoid, because I can tell you it's no fun in the back end on compliance section when we have to figure out what is it that y'all did and have to go. I have literally spent 2 days on one to file that beginning a dispute by talking to our agent, the other broker, what's going on, the clients. And, of course, everybody's going to talk about their point of view and what they didn't do wrong, what everybody else done wrong. So what I have to do is filter out what is truth and what's not. So please cover your asset always. Get things in writing, especially if you feel like it might be an issue, okay? If you had a conversation with your client and they're not listening to you after multiple advices, follow up with an email, say, hey, Mr. and Ms. Smith, for our conversation, this is what I mentioned, and I understand you want the client inspection at this time. Send it to them, okay? Keep that email, upload on paperless pipeline, print a PDF, just so we know we're covering our own assets, okay? Thank you. All right, Adrian, I believe you're online.
Adrian's coming up next.
Oh, thanks, guys.
I'm going to cut in one quick second. So we don't do dual agency, but you can represent one party of the transaction as a client and one part of the transaction as a customer, but that's not dual agency. Dual agency is when you represent both as a client, and that's what we don't do. So you can still represent one as a client, one as a customer. Just want to make sure that that's clear there. Kind of thing. Sorry.
Thanks for clearing that up, Alan. Adrian here, representing the Noonan branch, and also our brand. You're supposed to be muted. Anyway, and also representing our brand new satellite office in Carrollton. I'm so excited about that. We're actually offering our first CE class there in the new satellite office this week on the 13th. It is at capacity, so if you wanted to come and you're not already signed up, sorry. Next month, we'll do it again. But we're really excited about that. Also, we have multiple classes coming up. If you haven't had the chance to hear me talk about all the contract changes for 2022, be sure to catch that. The one in McDonough is actually also at capacity coming up, but we've got one coming up at Airport on the 18th, next Tuesday. And then also one in Conyers coming up as well. Relaunch, our post-license class our series consists of 6 classes for your 25-hour post-license that all new agents need to get taken care of within the first year of being licensed. That's coming up in McDonough. So if you need that, definitely jump on our training calendar and sign up for that, because that one's filling up quick as well. I do the marketing and social media, and so just wanted to kind of repeat something that Alan was talking about this week in Backstory about posts and attention getters and the things that have the best interaction. Make lists of 10, 5, or 7, and you need action phrases like "you need to know" or "what you need to do," or so on. And then blank of the year. Those are all really good attention getting interactive posts to help you in your business on social media. So if you missed Backstory, you can watch it on Max One Works and get all those tips in detail. That's it.
I'm gonna jump in here and share my.
Hey, really quick before you jump in, for those of you that doesn't have access to Max One Works, just so you know, Real Estate Backstory is on YouTube channel. So you can go YouTube and Google Real Estate Backstory and look up the one that was just done this past Monday. The catchy phrase are really great, so you guys can advertise and not spinning your wheel. These are surveys and also data that's collected to where your advertising will be most useful. Back to you, Al.
All right, thank you. All right, my name is Alan Richardson. I'm the managing broker, so thank you very much for coming out today. We're going to be going over, I got lots of information to share. I try and share a lot of things here at the sales meeting. So the big one, which we keep talking about, is the KV Core platform. We are rolling her out this month, and so we're getting everything ready for that. Now, when we say KV Core platform, everybody just goes, "Oh, okay, that," and no one knows what it really is. So let's I want to break that down a little bit. So what's going to happen is this is a multifunctional platform, and I'm going to go into a little bit more details here in just a moment with you about what all the bells and whistles and tools and everything that it does. It really is the #1 ranked real estate platform out there, and you know, one of the biggest things that we need is to have more relationships. 80% of folks' business comes from the folks that they know and folks that know them, people they know. And so this is one of those platforms that's designed to do that. There was a question earlier about, is Chime gone? Yes and no. And what that means is, like, KV Core is now part of our program. If you want to keep your Chime, you can keep your Chime, and nothing has changed on there. So we're not going to just kick you out of Chime, because there's some folks that maybe wants to do both. If you want to do both, there's no problem with that. But KV Core is what's going to be incorporated. And just so everyone knows where we're going with this is for a full tech stack. We're trying to put all of our technology together, where wouldn't it be great if we could log in all at one place? We had one back office, the whole 9 yards. And that's where we're going to with this. And so this is our first step into that. once you get in now, we're all going through training this week, parts of next week, and I'm going to start rolling this out to everybody next week and the week after. When that happens, you're going to have 3 training videos. Okay, each video is going to be about an hour long. Once you view the first hour, then 1/3 of KV Core, all the things that they went over, will now open up and work for you. You view the second hour, those bits and pieces open up and work for you. You view the 3rd hour, everything opens up and works for you. And then as it is hot here, I'm sorry.
No, it's awesome.
Oh, awesome. I thought you said it's hot, but it is hot in here too. So anyway, I just, that's kind of our rollout schedule, and that's how it's going to work. We're going to be doing, I'm putting together CE classes to try and help us on here. One of the things I really like about KV Core, kind of as opposed to Chime, and I'm a big fan of Chime. I like Chime, but Chime's like a Ferrari, and driving, if you've ever driven a Ferrari, it's hard to keep them on the road, right? And so that's kind of the same thing with Chime, is that it takes a lot of agent interaction and manipulation to get it to do what you want to do. Whereas there aren't as many bells and whistles from an agent point of view. It's all automated. And that's the thing I like, is that for most of us, we just make it go, make it send, make it do stuff, right? That's what we want, right? We just want it to go do things.
Right.
We don't, but it's like, with Chime, you have to decide, I want it to do this, I want it to do this. If it's going to send a smart plan out, you have to go and design that whole smart plan. Well, this one has them already in, and it's always evolving and updating. So let's talk about what are we going to be looking at here. So there are daily calls and task management. So you can go in and set up to-do lists and task management in there, and you can help it to remind you, because this thing is going to be kind of like your digital assistant. It's there to help you keep yourself organized. Core Present Quick Start, that is a virtual CMA that you can do with your clients. Agent Success Plan, here's where you decide what it is that you'd like, how you'd like to operate your business. A series of check boxes. It's very, very simple, but it helps you kind of create some plans for how you're going to operate your business. Inside Real Estate PPC Advertising Tour. If you wanted, like in the past, a lot of agents are very intimidated by pay-per-click advertising. Well, if you want to do pay-per-click advertising, it's not something you have to do, but if you want to, it's already integrated in, and it's a matter of just clicking buttons and deciding what you want to do.
Is that an add-on?
It is that one. Yeah, if you're going to run ads, now this thing does have 22 different lead generation activities built into it, and it has plans where you can automatically market your listings out there, that kind of stuff. So there's a lot that you can do with it, but it also is integrated where if you wanted to go place Facebook ads, if you wanted to go do pay-per-click ads, in the past, you basically had to become this IT guru and try and figure out how everything works. Not anymore. It's just, if you want to, it's a simple setup process. They got a whole thing on generating and converting seller leads. They have the whole email editor where you can go in, and that's the one it's much more automated than any of the other drip campaigns. You can post directly to social media through your KV Core. So you can set up drips, and you can set up social media posts through KV Core that will go out onto your social media platforms directly from there. And then if someone clicks on that link, guess where they go? Into your KV Core, right? Okay. It's going to go through. It has a virtual open house. So if you like to hold open houses, you'll actually be able to sign in right there. And if someone signs in, guess where they go? Right in your KV Core. Yeah, you follow me here, right?
Yeah.
All right. And so there's a whole training on converting your KV Core contacts into leads, because taking anything online, are we selling any houses online? No, we got to get personal. And so there's a whole series of training on getting folks from being digital to being in face to face with you, kind of thing. And so Real Estate Retargeting 101, those are different types of ads. There's a KV WordPress plugin, which most folks won't mess with there. You get your own lead generation website in here, kind of thing. And so you can go in, and there aren't as many tweaks that you can do it, but in my opinion, that's good, because they look really good. First of all, I think they look very slick. But what we found is like with Chime, there's so many buttons to tweak that everybody's just like, I don't know what to do with it. So, right. And so then here it's much more basic, but it does those things that we really want it to do. And then they also have Facebook pay-per-click, how to transition from not just K-Team, but from an existing, if you already have Chime, how do you transition into KV Core? And then also being able to actually place ads as well as to run posts directly on Facebook, and not only Facebook, Facebook Messenger. So this is the basis of KV Core. Now we're also going to be putting in KV Back Office, things like that are all going to be coming in there part with it. But that's, you know, that's where we've been working really hard to try and get to for this year. So when you start seeing emails coming out, and when you start seeing notices, don't just delete them, okay? There's a reason these things are going to be coming out, because you're going to be like, how do I get in, kind of thing. So all that is coming down the road. Any questions? All right. First part of the year, property tax homestead exemptions. Stay in contact with your client. If you sold a house this past year, please take some time, reach out to those clients. Hey, how's the house? How are things looking? You know, what's going on? And then send them the homestead exemption forms. It's really not hard to do. It has to be filed with each local municipality, kind of thing. Now, they won't get it for this year, but they have to file it this year, kind of thing. And so they needed to own the home before January 1st this year in order to get it. But this is a really good chance for us to reach back out to clients, and it's just a really nice touch. And this time of year is the right time to do it. All right, coming soon in all our offices, we are going to be starting Contracts 101. And so we're going to be doing live in office. We're going to be doing RE as well as contracts. And we're mainly going to be focusing on purchase and sale, buyer brokerage, as well as the listing agreements. And writing those, how to write those, you know, how not to leave the blanks, what are the common mistakes, but what, you know, just so you know what we'll be doing, we're going to be going through and like laying out a scenario that everyone's going to be writing a contract right there together. And these are things that we're going to do in the offices. So if you don't feel real comfortable with it, that's something we're going to be scheduling both for RE as well as for GAR. Now, if you're a realtor, do you need to know RE contracts? Yes. You better believe it, right? And if you're, you know, if you use RE forms, do you need to know GAR contracts? You do right now. I mean, that's just how it is. You know, we have two different sets of contracts. And if you don't know the nuances between those two, it can burn you. You know, we see this thing kind of happen, well, basically again and again. So like, you know, is the 8-day unilateral included in GAR contracts, RE contracts, or both? It's in GAR. Is it in RE? No, it isn't. But so if you get an RE contract in, you need to know that the 8-day unilateral is not part of that contract at all. And because we see where you know, folks will send in an 8-day unilateral on an RE contract, but it has no bearing because it's not written into the original purchase and sale. Things like that are the small details and the little nuances between that. Some of the financing things are different. So even though you may like, all I need is GAR forms, you know, you really want to kind of educate yourself across the board on that. And so if we find that the easiest way, rather than just sitting and just us blah 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 to you the whole time, sit down and write a contract with it, go through it, you know, that kind of stuff. So we're just going to go through line by line. We're going to be scheduling these over the next 2 or 3 months, kind of constantly and ongoing in each one of the offices in person as we go along. So that's just wanted you to know that that's coming. You all good with that, I hope? Because that's something that we're kind of interested in. I want to talk a little bit kind of where we're at in the market right now. So overall, this is no real shocker for anybody, right? Housing inventory is lower than it was last year, and it's lower than it was the year before, and it's lower than it was the year before. So we have some of the lowest inventory levels that we've ever had right now. Nationally, we're down about 26% versus last year. Here in Georgia, we're down about 22% from last year. And last year was 23% down. So we're down 50% on the number of listings that we had from 2 years ago. Okay, now I want you know, every week I talk about in the real estate backstory, I go through all the different stats and figures. So I'm not trying to harp on these things. Just if some of you are like, yeah, same thing you talk about all the time, Alan. I do have a purpose in getting here. And so I just kind of want to carry you through some of the things going on. This is where that inventory level has been running. So do you think that we are like interest rates are rising right now? Is the market going to crash? No, I mean, look where our inventory levels are. They're terribly low, right? Pending sales. How is pending sales doing? You can see all the pending sales for 2017, 18, 19, 20, and 21. Now, last 2020 was our best year ever, and we're right there at it. I mean, we're really, really close to where we were last year on pending sales. And pending sales is kind of one of those leading indicators of what's really going on in the market. Like, we know that that's what's coming. At the same time, we have massive equity growth, right? If you bought your home last year at this time, how much in equity do you have more this year than you had last year? On the screen, $50,000. In Georgia, the average equity growth in the past year was $50,000. Right? Now, if you rented a house last year, how much equity do you have?
Zero.
All right, you follow me here, right?
Right.
All right, and that's just 1 year.
Wow.
So equity growth is a really big deal. What's the ugly I word that we're hearing a lot about right now? Inflation, right? What happens with equity and inflation? Is there a correlation there, you think? Right? Well, I mean, it is property value appreciation also inflationary? Yes, trying to find the right word. Does that also contribute to inflation? It does, but how about your payments? I mean, it's not, back in the day, we had a lot more LIBORs, we had interest only loans, but how about now? Do we have a lot of adjustable rate mortgages? No, we don't, right? So if you bought a mortgage if you bought a house last year, if you're buying a house now, is that payments going up every month? No. How about the value of your home? So, property ownership is a great hedge against inflation. Now, mortgage rates. We started off the year at 3.22. How is that? Think about it. Is that a really good rate? Now, if you want to get wrapped up in the news, the headline is going to be high interest rates are higher than all of 2021. And is that true? Yeah, absolutely is. Right. 3.22 is higher than it was all last year. Our first house was like 8.5%. My parents bought it 14 or something ridiculous back then. We were thankful, kind of thing. So, our interest rate's going to be going up. Yes. This is the projections for 2022. Fannie, Freddie, Mortgage Bankers Association, NAR. And I like taking kind of the average of those four. These are probably four of the biggest leading indicators. So, 3.3, 3.45, 3.5, and 3.7. So it is a really good chance that we're going to be ending up slightly under 4 before the end of the year. Yes. Is the world coming crashing down?
No.
Well, that's the thing, right? Because, now, is this going to be hurting our buyers' purchasing power?
Yes.
Absolutely. It sure will, right? But if you look at where mortgage rates, a lot of us have been around for a while. Was 2017 a bad year? No. How about 2018? No. We were rocking in 2008, 2019, right? So, like this is just the 5 or 6 years. Things have been really, really good. We're just heading back into like what I would say a more normal range on there. So don't let rising interest rates trick you into thinking that, oh, this is terrible for real estate. Okay. Now, it is going to be harder for our entry-level buyers. There's just no doubt about it. That's going to be a reality because it's going to be hurting their buying power. The other big reality here is what the biggest impact for the vast majority of agents here is that it's going to mess with preconceived notions of value because our buyers are buying on price or on payment. Well, both, but they're buying on payment. But when the interest rates go up, what happens to their price? Now, you ever show somebody a house at $450 and then find out that they're only qualified for $375? And now you're looking at $375,000 houses, right? How fun is that trip? Right? Does anything look good now?
No.
Right? Because and see, that's going to be one of those things that we have to be looking for as we're moving forward. If you think that well, I can afford $325 or $375, and now I can all of a sudden afford $250 or $275. That's a different house. That's a different price point. Those are different levels of finishes. We need to be ahead of that. So we need to be talking about expectations with our clients. We need to be talking about and making sure that we're keeping them grounded. If I had anybody, I would have them looking underneath their loan limits right now. As far as I can get them to, I mean, I'm not trying to say, I don't like making clients house poor anyway, but we need to make sure that if we have folks looking in more moderate price points than what they can really afford, and the interest rates go up, can they probably still afford that house? When should we do that though? Now, right now, exactly, kind of thing. Now, some folks will say, FHA loans are just as good as conventional loans. Well, if you look at the overall interest rates and the overall FICO scores for each one of them, so that's conventional, VA, and FHA. And you can see how each one of those is based on risk. And so we see that again and again. I'm not knocking FHA buyers at all. Matter of fact, I think as this year moves on, FHA buyers will have a lot more power than they've had in the past, because we are going to see a leveling of pricing. And we're already starting to see that, a leveling of appreciation, I should say, kind of thing. Forbearance, we're going to have is it going to be 2008 all over again? We got REOs coming out of our yin yang? No, we don't, kind of thing. We don't, actually, we're nowhere close. I mean, that's from 2020 to where we are in December. Okay. And guess what? The foreclosure moratoriums are gone now. We're still way below pre-pandemic levels. And, I want you to think about this. If you were underwater on a property, would you sell it and make money because you probably have appreciation, or would you let it go back to the bank? Right. So that's why we're not seeing this right now. We're in an appreciating market. So home price appreciation, where are we going to be in the next year? Or can we, first of all, I think we finished at the year about 18% last year. Is that sustainable long term? We're going for a year and a half with double digit price appreciation. It isn't. But once we have these interest rates coming in, we are going to start seeing a flattening of appreciation. So here's the forecast. Fannie, Freddie, CoreLogic, mortgage bankers. I don't even know who HBS is. Zelman and NAR. If you average them all together, they're all looking at the overall property value appreciation being right at around 5%. I think we're going to be between 4 and 5% for the year, somewhere in that range, which is very, very doable. What's the news going to say? If we were averaging 5%, we're going to have some months at what? 1-2% flat. Because we're still, we're looking to start off the year really close to 10 is where I'm kind of looking at it being, but it's going to start tapering down. And then everyone's going to talk about housing's on fire, things are falling apart, housing's crashing. Look, we have the biggest group of millennials right now. It's between the ages of 25 and 35, or like 28 and 35. There's like 45 million millennials. The first time home buyer age is 32. And this is the biggest group of Americans, of population of Americans. And we don't have enough houses already. And we have a ton of demand. So is the market just going to just go crazy? No, it is going to flatten. It is going to stabilize, right? Where I want you to be thinking about is, how do I prepare for a market shift, right? We've been going through, even if you look at before COVID, pre-Rona, we were looking at, the real estate market had been doing really good for a number of years, since since 2010, 11, 12. It really started appreciating really from that point on, especially 2012. It's been steady going. There's a lot of agents that have not seen a market that hasn't been improving for the last 10 years. And you kind of get into this idea of, this is how business is. I know I'm not dating anyone, but some of us have been here for a while. Some of us have been here not only since the previous recession, or the one before that, or the one before that kind of thing. I've been around a while, right? And I've seen a lot of these things kind of come and go. And every time that there is a market shift, people lose their businesses. In real estate, they just get out of business, go find a job, right? But what really happens is that we have to look at where's the market going? What are things happening? And how do I position my business so that I can not just survive a changing market, but thrive in a changing market, right? So, we know interest rates are going to rise, period, right? Property value appreciation is going to stabilize. Strong demand, we're going to have strong demand, and that's going to hold our volume up in there. Entry-level priced homes are going to see the greatest competition. Right now, we've got property appreciation across the board, but when interest rates go up, where's the challenge going to be? On the entry level down there. We're going to probably see a shift in the more affordable areas kind of thing. In town, condos, townhomes, we've already been seeing a big shift going out to rural. Rents are going to rise more sharply than property values. And that fact, I mean, if you think buying a house is rough, try renting a house right now. Foreclosure activity is going to remain low, and the buyer-seller balance is going to be more normal. Y'all remember pre-Rona? How was our buyer-seller market? I mean, it was still a seller's market, right? It was still clearly a seller's market, but was it the burning dumpster fire where the sellers could get whatever they want and the buyers just basically had to turn around and grab their ankles, right? We're heading to a more balanced market there. Now, will it still be a seller's market? Yes. Is it going to be the seller's market that we've had for the last year and a half? No, it isn't. So how many lead systems do you have? Where are you getting your leads now? Because if you have one lead system and you're getting all your leads from this main source, and any of those factors that we just talked about shift, what happens to your leads? I mean, if any of those things that we're talking about affects that lead source that you're referencing, and that's your only source of leads, what are you gonna do? We see that, like some agents, like all I do is Op City. All I do is, Veterans United. Well, what happens if Veterans United stops? What if Op City doesn't do it anymore? I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but these are realities of it. So if you have, but if you have, and ideally you need 6 lead sources. Because if you have 6 lead sources, you basically made yourself kind of recession proof. You've made yourself where the market's not going to hurt you. Because when you have 6 lead sources, if 2 of them completely dry up, normally what we see is that the others will pick up in other ways. And so we have to make sure that we're looking at where our business is coming from, how we're positioning ourselves with upcoming changes, and how we can really make sure that we're protecting ourselves moving forward. So we got to look at where's our business coming from now? How does this market shift impact my leads now? Right. So I'm just trying to get it real here a little bit. If you work with first-time buyers, how tough is it going to be for you over the next year? It's going to be rougher, right? You're going to have a harder time getting first-time buyers approved. You're going to have a hard time finding that. So if all your business is first-time buyers, what do you need to do now? You need to be expanding your business out and looking in some other ways. So I'm not trying to say that buyer brokerage is going away. I'm not trying to say you shouldn't work with first-time buyers. That's not what I mean. But will that be a challenging market for the next year? Yeah. It's same as saying like, well, I'm hoping to break into the REO business. You can hope in one hand, not gonna, like it's a great time to jump into REO. Probably not. But the other side of this is, we talked about like the negatives of a shifting market. What kind of opportunities happens? Or what kind of opportunities are created by those same changes? More millionaires are made in a down market than in an up market. You know that? Because they're capitalizing on things going on. And so it's one thing to say, this is what we feel, where the market's going. This is where my business is. But also, how can I better serve my clients? How can I position my business to take advantage of what's going to be going on next year? What's the market doing moving forward? How can we capitalize on this? Not just to survive a changing market, but to actually thrive in a changing market. You may know what the one constant in real estate is. Change. It's the only constant we have, okay? It's always evolving. There's always people have their hands in our pocket. You have to be ready to change. And so I want to make sure that you are looking at this moving ahead into next year and really being ready for these changes and trying to position your business where this, what I don't want is that it's a summer and you guys are like, I don't know what happened to my business. I was doing so good. And all of a sudden, well, that market shift is going to impact us in a lot of different ways. You need to start thinking about this now, making plans and pivoting your business to take advantage of that. That make sense? All right, checking my time here real quick. Okay, we're trying. All right. Now, I teach a lot of lead gen systems, but what I find is that a lot of our existing agents never look. Once you get in, you're not looking at new lead generation systems for attracting sellers. So I'm going to run through just very quickly, and what I'd like for you to think about is what lead systems to generate sellers should I be looking to incorporate or possibly add into my business plans? You follow me? So I got 2 pages of these here. So I'm just going to kind of run through here with you really quickly. So of course, the first one, learn KV Core. Okay, it's coming out anyway. So, but make that a point to truly learn that, because that's going to enable you to truly engage with your database. Referrals is still going to be great business. Nothing going on out there is going to affect our referral business. How about listings that expired 6 to 24 months? Right? Expired listings, how often do they get called? When does expired listing get called? That first week, there's 17 people a call. How about 6 months or 12 months after a listing expired and never sold? You think those folks might still want to sell? Yes. Well, if you had your house listed a year ago and you weren't successful, is it probably worth more now? Yes. By at least $50,000? These people are primed to reach out to, kind of thing. We have Vulcan 7. Yeah, sorry. We have Vulcan 7 you have access to, and you can find expired listings there. Unsolicited video CMAs into your database. Do you know what an unsolicited video CMA is? Basically, you sit down and you pull up your clients, and I recommend you just do one of these a day. And so if you have past clients, folks in your database that might be thinking about selling, that kind of stuff, pull it up, anybody can open up a free Zoom account, go in, start a Zoom and share your screen, and go in and pull a CMA for your clients and narrate over it. Should take you 5 minutes. Do that, send it off. Now, for that client, what a big deal that is, right? You just sent them a full breakdown of where their house sits, what other homes have sold, where you would value their property at right now, and to reach out to me. Does everybody know that their home is on average worth $50,000 more than it was last year? No. So I love unsolicited video CMAs. It's hard if you don't try and do not drink out of the fire hose here. Do one a day, otherwise you'll blow your brain up. Okay. Yeah. Email all the homeowners in your database a monthly newsletter, right? Reaching out to those folks in your database that are existing homeowners. Make personalized phone calls every 3 to 6 months. We in real estate, we tend to replace prospecting with marketing. So picking up the phone is a really, really big deal. But it's not about selling, it's about relationships. Okay. But we have to be intentional about that. Look at utilizing Homebot.ai for past buyers. Anybody here using Homebot? They partner you with a lender if you like it. Some of our lenders are in there already, but then they will set up an automatic drip campaign and they will reach out with a whole series of financial offerings for them. And it has all your marketing and it's all automated. All you do is just go in and put those clients in there and it's free. Homebot.ai. You can circle prospect neighborhoods using Slide Broadcast. Slide Broadcast is that voice to that, you ever get your phone doesn't ring, but you just end up with a voicemail message? That's Slide Broadcast. So you record a message, basically, hey, the house over in your neighborhood on Smith Street went under contract for $325 in just 2 days on the market. We have more buyers than we have sellers in this market. Have you ever thought about selling? Because I'd love to bring you a buyer. Social media marketing. On social media, one of the big ones out there is need homes, looking for this. Need a 3-2 ranch in Kellytown. I have buyers looking for this. I got a family here. That goes really, really good. What happens when you post, I need a home for my buyer on social media? Well, not only that, could you end up with a buy and a sell?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of thing. Probate listings. That's another one. How do you get to probate listings? Probate attorneys. You go and you befriend probate attorneys, kind of thing. And make it, now, what does a probate attorney care about? He cares that you can liquidate property. That's what he cares about. But go on LinkedIn. We don't have yellow pages anymore, and date myself, but just go out and reach out to local probate attorneys. It really is a big deal. Real estate farming. If you're going to farm a neighborhood, what neighborhood should you farm first?
Mine.
Yours, right? You're already part of like the in crowd, right? You're one of the cool kids. So farm your neighborhood. You can utilize things like SmartZip. Now, this one is a pay service out there kind of thing, but it's predictive analytics. Mean you go in and they tell you these are all the houses that are most likely to sell. Hey, you should reach out to them. For rent by owners. Anybody here own rental property besides me? Rental property? Anybody hate being a landlord? Right? I mean, and like the beautiful one on that one is out of town or out of state for rent owners. Kind of thing. If you own rental property, like we own rental property out of state, and like you just don't know, like, what if my house is burnt down today? You just don't know, right? And now, do you really have a connection with anybody there anymore? 3-year to 7-year-old tract built neighborhoods. What happens after that neighborhood gets built out and the on-site agent moves away? Anybody talking to those folks? No. I really like the 7-year neighborhoods right now, because we've seen where pre-pandemic, we've been running 10, 11 years as the average move time. Guess where we're at right now? 6. The average homeowner has been in their home for 6 years now. So if you go into a tract neighborhood that was built 5, 6, 7 years ago, you're right in that sweet spot. And more than likely, no one's reaching out to those folks in those tract neighborhoods. Open houses. Do we like open houses? Some of us do, some of us don't, and that's okay. Not everything's right for everybody, but are open houses successful? Yes. Oh, it depends on how you do it. And what I mean by that, I see some folks want to do an open house, and they're like, they put a sign in the yard, and maybe they hang a balloon, and then they stand at the front door and do that. This is a stupid idea. I didn't want to do this anyway. Okay, that open house stinks. Okay, but when you put out, we put out 20 signs for an open house. You know why we put out 20 signs? Because we put out 10 and it was okay, and we put out 15, it was better. We put out 20, it was even better than that. And we put out 25, no, it didn't make a difference. Went back to 20, right? And we market it everywhere. What happens when you reach out to everybody in your database talking about the open house you have coming out?
Where do you put the 20 signs?
Huh?
Where do you put the 20 signs? In the same yard?
Every intersection. Oh no, I put them on every intersection, everywhere around there, kind of thing. So, how about divorce liens? I know this is not. I'm not trying to be like the ambulance chaser dude here, but let's be honest, right? Some of these folks been home alone for 1.5 years, right? They ready for a divorce? Nah, sorry, just kidding. I'm being mean. But I mean, unfortunately, half of marriages will end in divorce, and half of those will need to liquidate real estate. Are there people that need our heart and need our assistance on walking through a divorce and liquidating real estate at the same time? And is that, and if you have a heart for that, could that be a really good combination for you? Expired listings, we talked about that. Door knocking. Ooh, another scary one, right? Does it work? Yeah. No. And I just want to leave that there. I'm not saying everyone should go door knock, but don't lie to yourself and be like, well, that mess don't work. It works. So, top 25 VIP list. That's what that, do you all have a top 25 VIP list? And I want you to think about what that means. These are the 25 people in your database that give you the most referrals, that give you the most business, that sings your praises when they're out and about. Somebody says, oh, we got to move. John, John's getting a new job, whatever kind of thing. What do they say? They throw you out there right there to them. Those folks need love, big time love. You need to make sure that you have identified who your golden 25 is. Who is that perfect group of 25 folks? Hopefully you have more than 25, but if you don't have 25, get 25. It really is important to get that started. We talked about it earlier, but our Facebook ads or Google pay-per-click ads are a right solution for you. I'm just going to skip over those real quick, but if anyone had any questions, I'll be glad to help on anything like that. Build agent-to-agent referrals. You like doing agent-to-agent referrals? Huh? Anybody here like to drive up to North Georgia? I don't either, but wouldn't it be good to work with agents in North Georgia or Macon or anywhere else around the state? So networking with other agents is a really good thing that we can do that helps us not only get referrals, but give referrals kind of thing. Be the educator, stand up in front of a group, talk to folks from mid to small size businesses. When you go in and befriend a small to mid-sized business, how many of those folks do you know have a real estate person? If they've got 30 or 40 employees, isn't that a great place to go in, drag the lender in with you, go have some lunch, talk about real estate, that kind of stuff? It's a really great place to be. You can also mail paper CMAs to your 25, to that same golden 25, or out to current homeowners in your database. And we like to just fill up that mail. We only print the front cover in color. Everything else is in black and white. But we show them, here's the full CMA on the property. Here's all the other comps. Here's what's going on. Then we just put a little handheld, a little personal note in there, and then mail those out. And you do that twice a year. You're priming that pump. So when it's time to sell, who are they calling? You. Prospecting short sales. Now, prospecting short sales is different now than it has been in the past. Because if you're going to prospect short sales, what are you going to do? These are folks who have been given notice, right? And are they really going to do a short sale? No, because they have equity in their home. So what do they need to do? They need to liquidate that home. So when I say prospect short sales, I don't mean it like in the old days when I'm not talking about true short sales, because we have very few homes underwater right now. But because of the large equity increases, I'm not saying that they're going to be real happy about it, right? But are you better off to go find another place to live and with $50,000, or are you better off to let this property get foreclosed on? Sell it, right? So prospecting real estate investors, it's another one. Investor activity. I am a real estate investor. I enjoy being investors and working with investors. But one thing, when you work with investors, they need you way more than you need them. Okay. Can you offer iBuyer services? Dun, dun, dun. I said the dirty word, right?
Yeah.
OfferPad, if you have a property that's not listed and you submit it for your client and they choose to go that route, you can get 3% through OfferPad right now and never list the property. Now, when you get that offer back from OfferPad and you sit down with your client and you say, you know what, here's the OfferPad from offer. They're going to give you $325. We can put this on the market. Here's my CMA. We can get you $400,000. Which way would you like to go? Yeah. So, when you start talking about offering iBuyer services, really what you're offering is freedom of choice. Right. Because a lot of our sellers want to know, what is this iBuyer thing? What's it really mean? How does it all work? Well, when you take that from them, one, you're offering great service. Now you're also showing them transparency. This is what can happen. We've had friends of ours that used Open Door. It was a divorce. It was ugly. They had to sell. And if they didn't sell next week, somebody's going to die. And so for them, that was the right choice. But that, it's not right for everybody. But that's a door opener for a lot of folks right there.
So did you say you can still get commission?
Yes. And you never have to list the property. Now, if the property's already listed, then then they don't do a commission. All they do is a 1% on that one. But if it's unlisted, and you submit it for your client, you still get a 3% commission. You didn't take any, I mean, you didn't schedule a photographer, you didn't put it in the MLS, you didn't do all the paperwork, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. How about absentee owners? I love absentee owners, but we talked about them. Those are our landlords as well. But how about absentee landowners and lot owners? You know, folks, there's a lot of folks own a lot of land, don't live here, but no one reaches out to them at all. For sale by owners, now, for sale by owners is its lowest level ever. I don't know if y'all have seen any of the recent reports, but for sale by owners, seriously at the lowest, it's less than 4% right now. And that's the lowest level it has ever been. I mean, you know, 15, 20 years ago, for sale by owner was almost 8% of our market. So even if you took for sale by owners and iBuyers, it's still lower than it used to be. More and more folks are using real estate folks now than in any point in history kind of thing. But for sale by owners, the average for sale by owner sells for, I'm sorry, it's right at 13% less than the average with an agent. Follow me? And here's where it gets really good, because the numbers have changed recently, and they normally have one agent involved. So we're not talking about a drop of 6%. We're talking about the difference is now the average for sale by owner will net 10% more by using an agent. And you say, well, how is that? Well, do they know how much their home is worth? I mean, Zillow tried this thing for a while, right? And all they have is this estimate, and Zillow couldn't make any money on their estimates. So they don't know how much their home is worth. They don't know how, you know, how do you control who's coming in the house? You know, how good the negotiators are for sale by owners? They're not. But when you look at the people that buy for sale by owners, are they good negotiators? Yeah. So they end up losing a lot of money. How about building relationships with builders, and not just builders, on-site agents? Because a lot of on-site agents can't list property. Some can, but a lot of on-site agents may have their license retired. All they can do is show that neighborhood. Yeah. So having a relationship with on-site agents and with builders is a really great play right now. Befriend those on-site agents. They really are nice people. If you've ever been an on-site agent, you know, it's a pretty lonely place. Go out and bring them a cup of coffee and chat with them during a slow time. Because what's going to happen is that you end up getting a phone call. Hey, I got some folks who love this house, but they have a house to sell. Think you could help them? Yeah, you got it, right? And then you can also join or start a BNI, business networking. You know, have something. You know, create a leads group where, you know, if I got someone needs an insurance person, I'm going to bring in my insurance person. If the insurance person has someone that needs a tax attorney, they're going to give them to them. Tax attorneys, someone has somebody that needs really, they're going to send it to me. Build your own, that kind of thing. But all these, you know, I want you to focus on. Now, we saw down there, where's our biggest need, buyers or sellers right now? Sellers. I mean, you can see that that's going to be the big thing going forward. So where do we need to pivot or position our business? Sellers. Did I just give you a couple of ideas? Okay, that's what I wanted. So seriously, take some time, think about your business, pray about what's going on with it, see which direction it really needs to go. Set yourself up so that as the market moves, and it's always going to, that you don't get held behind. Does that make sense? Awesome. So thank you very much. This is all of our top agents for each of our offices. So in each office, I'm going to let each of the branch managers go over. I don't think we have anybody here, right? Yeah, but oh, Brent, I'm sorry. So we do have your agent awards here. I'm sorry. And so I'm going to let each office do it on their own. So, and then thank you. Yay. Love y'all.
Thank you. Yay. I don't get much clap here. I really feel like, just kidding.